Okay, so I didn't plan on doing any hobby on my holidays, but one thing led to another, and I ended up picking up the Pike and Shotte Epic Battles Scots Covenanters Starter Army after a chat with a friend. It was a bit weird. Anyway, I've been wanting to get into this. This is the Warlord Games epic scale stuff. There's the box art there, so I'm back on holidays in a shed, so bear with me any noise. I've been wanting to get into this stuff for, it's been interesting, but I couldn't really justify it because I've got ACW stuff. It's actually behind me there, my 6mm ACW Confederates and Union stuff. So I didn't want to grab the American Civil War box and sort of double up on some other stuff I might not use. But after some conversations with some friends, turns out there's some interest in this, and some other guys in our circle are doing it. So I'll certainly jump in and have a go. So this is the Pike and Shotte Epic Battles Scots Covenanters Starter Army, and it's pretty big. It doesn't come with a rulebook or terrain like the main starter set, but I'm probably going to pick that up anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is more just a holiday hobby project. It comes with 2 of these flag sheets, which we'll have a look at later, and that's a finished thing. So let me grab the sprues out and let's have a look. Sorry, I'm recording on my phone, so it might not be the best quality. You get 3 of these sprues, and these are, let me just get rid of these spare ones here. These are sort of a cavalry command and your main big falconets and Saker artillery pieces. The smaller artillery pieces are on the other sprues. So you've got some Scots Lancers, various dismounted figures there, which are actually quite nice skirmish poses. These figures are a bit bigger than I thought they would be. I mean that in a good way. I'll put a picture up of a comparison between them and some 15mm Plastic Soldier Company stuff. But I've heard people describe these as true 15mm. So yeah, so I think they're officially their 13.5mm epic scale Warlord thing. But no, these are quite good. I'm going to be able to pick out quite a bit of detail on these if the camera will focus. Yep, so you get 3 of these, which gives you 3 Sakers and 3 Falconets. I'm pretty sure the Falconets are the smaller ones, the 1-pounders, if I remember correctly from my Age of Empires 3 days. Let me show you the flags before we move on to the rest. So I know absolutely nothing about this period, beyond the bare bones basics. There were multiple civil wars, the whole Bishop's War business and all that, and the Irish stuff. But details not so clear. So it'll be a good learning experience. But as you can see, this is a Scots Covenanters and Montrose Royalist box. I was going to pick that one up as well, but I thought I'd just get one at a time. Let's take it a bit steady. So I assume these are dual-purpose, sort of generic Scottish box. They'll throw the same flag sheet in, and then you've got some things here for the Lancers, although it's quite clear that these are conjecture. I assume that they probably don't have good quality sources for that sort of stuff. So I will be doing plenty of research before I start gluing any banners on anything. These look pretty good. I read some reviews that people weren't too happy with these, but I'd be fairly happy to cut these out and put these on. Yeah, I mean, from a distance they're going to look fine. I'm not sure what else to really say about them. I think they look great. I can read the writing on them. See if I can focus that there. That's too much glare. Yeah. So these are just on a non-glossy paper. Pretty standard, actually. Yeah, feels good. So anyway, those are the banners, and you get 2 sheets of those in the kit. And just to keep you waiting, I'll grab the resin characters out before I show you the main sprue. So the resin stuff all comes in this nice little bag. Interesting, the bag was packaged by someone else other than the person who packaged the box. The Warlord gives you the little packaged by thing, so it's good to know that they're being super accountable with their stuff. I'll just gently shake it out because I've got one hand on the camera. So these little bases here are kind of cool, but I don't think I'll use them. So these are casualty bases. As you can see, some cavalry ones, some infantry, some more cavalry, busted up pikes, busted up shot. Where's the pikeman? There was a pikeman anyway. Yes, so these are cool. I don't like the fact that the number is sculpted in. There's something. Here we go. So if you can see here, it's got the number there is sculpted onto the base. So these are sort of, you know, I've taken one casualty, I put the 1 down, taken 2, I'll put the 2 down. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. 9 of these bases for, I believe it's 12 regiments of infantry, plus a bunch of other cavalry stuff. So they're cool. I like them. If I had the time, I might cut the 1, 2, 3, 4 off it and glue them onto a little spinny base, which would be much more useful. So I'd actually prefer it if they had just left a slot there. And I'll put a picture up of what I'm talking about just so I can visualize it. It's you put a little magnet on the bottom that way, or you pin on it, and that way you can turn it, so you can have up to 6, 7, or 8 numbers on it. So it'd be a little bit more useful that way, I think. These are cool. I'll definitely paint them up. Whether I use them is, you know, it's a bit beside the point. You know, I didn't buy the kit for the casualties, but they're a nice little thing to have. So the Calvinist minister goes with the Marquis of Argyle. Yeah, and this is my first experience with the Warlord resin. The sort of, I think it's a resin plastic hybrid. So let's see. Again, apologies for the phone. So yes, the good quality sculpt, nice and crisp. Pick out all the detail there. Get it away from the Calvinist. The Calvinist minister I'm especially pleased with, because the robes there are sculpted with really good detail. Just flip him over. Really crisp. Oh, probably can't see it with this phone here, but yeah, very impressed with these guys. And then of course Lord Leven, looking very good. You can see the little tassels on the edge of the saddlecloth there. A little bit of flashing under the horse to fix up. Yeah, looks good. A little bit of a gate on the back of the tail there. Easy to snip that off and sand it back a little bit. Yeah, very nice figures for 2 commanders. There'll be the 2 army commanders, and then you get the battalia commanders in the rest of this kit. So let's have a look at the main sprues, which let's see how many you get. Here we go. Here is the stack of plastic, and just to put it in perspective, there's a rattle can there, and that is quite a lot of plastic. That's I'm going to use that for the uniform priming on the advice of a friend. These are all the same, as I can see. Poke them down there. I have heard stories about these things coming with busted stuff on the sprues. The only thing I found on this is one of these musketmen up here, one of these arquebusiers or whatever they're called, has got a cracked musket. Nothing I can't just bend back and put a little super glue on. So they come on these cool little stuck together bits. So I'm just lifting that with 2 fingers, and it's all pretty solid. So they're not moving around in the kit, which is nice. So I'll get rid of the rest. I just want to show you the amount of them, so I was a bit blown away when I pulled them out. So from the top, we've got these chaps here. These guys here. I was a bit confused because I was looking for the Scottish Lancers. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? The only Scottish Lancer I could see was this guy here with the lance up, which I was pretty impressed with. But if you turn the sprue around, you can see those are 2 of our Lancers. Quite like that. They're not going to break off. They're going to be pretty sturdy, those Lancers. Next to them are the artillery crew. So you've got the little pop guns, frame guns, I think they are. And the one next to the frame gun there is the organ gun. So I believe you have the option to build a few of those. Again, I'll be consulting more learned people before I start gluing anything together. And I'm sure there's some clever way to put the gun on the base without gluing it down, so I can switch them out if I need to. More cavalry, along with the one of the cornets, I think it is. There's some artillery crews, a little bit of cavalry there. So here's the Shotte. This group of Shotte has a guy with a great big halberd. I think I suppose that'd be called a halberd. I'm not sure on the definitions. And they've all got the bonnie blue hats on, and the bonnets. Sorry, the bonnets. Pretty crisp. And then down to the Pike, we've got two of the Pike the same. Yeah, they're really good looking miniatures. These are going to be pretty easy to paint up. They're close together, but they're not one big sort of splodge. You can pretty clearly pick out a bit of detail there. Yeah, they look quite good. Here we've got some Pike with a halberd on it. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. Again, I assume that's some sort of NCO or minor officer type thing. Again, I'll be learning, which is what this all is all about, really. It's a good opportunity to learn about a period that's always sort of never really popped up on my radar as much as Napoleonics or French-Indian War or the Sudan or something like that has. So here's the command frame. Interestingly, I've seen on the back of this box here, I don't know if you can see it, it doesn't look like the command frame goes in the front of the unit. So there's just regular pikemen in the front. So dogs going ballistic, it's almost dinner time. So that'll be cool. There are no pikes, I can't remember, at port, I can't remember, they're the 45-degree angle pikes you get in the main kit. They're all straight up and down standing, which is nice because then you can actually put pike blocks together without them clashing with one another and getting all tangled up and broken. So I'm going to have to be careful with transporting these, but they look quite good. And as you can see, the detail there is very good. I can tell with my eyes. I don't know if you can tell with the camera, but the officer there is wearing a sort of breastplate. They've all got the bonnets, which is nice and cool. No bagpipes. I'm not sure if bagpipes were a thing. I assume they're not, or they'd be in here. So just a drum will do. And you've got the two banner bearers with the weird banner in this period. It's always baffled me. You can see it on the box art too. Apparently they didn't have enough money for an extra foot of wood. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. I would have just put, it's this small handled banner. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but yeah, that's always been an interesting thing with this period. Even the 30 Years War stuff, I think, is the same. Everyone seems to have agreed to just have these awkward, tiny little handles. And more Shotte. I suppose I'll figure it out when I go to paint them, but I think these are different sculpts. I'm sure I'll figure it out once I get down to painting. That's always when you find out what kits are actually like once you start painting them, and this is just the first look. The bonnets are beautiful, very good sculpts, very crisp. They're actually, I'd say, I have some of the 28mm stuff from a long time ago, and these are actually much crisper, nicer sculpts than the bigger stuff. So very good. And these, I believe, are the dismounted dragoons and the arquebusiers, or whatever they're called. Still need to get the pronunciations. And the one with the bent musket is one of these. This guy here, holding it out. So you can sort of see how that might get jostled a little bit. See if I can find it. Actually, it's not that big a deal. I'm sure worse things are going to happen. Here he is. So that's the only real damage I've seen in the kit so far. That's a quick tilt back and a bit of super glue or a bit of plastic glue. Maybe super glue at this scale. I don't want to melt it off, but yeah. And I think his mate next to him has got a bit of a snap musket too. That's alright. Easy fix, and I won't notice at this scale. I was worried that it was going to have a bunch of snapped off pikes and that I was going to have to try and replace them with something, but it doesn't look like that's an issue. I'm very happy with this kit, actually. It's a really nice kit. The box art is quite nice. I'm actually thinking I might cut the box out and, I don't know, not frame it, might be a bit strange, but the art's really big. Again, there's the rattle can. It's about the size of a rattle can. It's a hefty box. I was actually just dropped my phone. It's a hefty box. I was actually surprised. I went and picked it up in person from Gap Games here in the city, and I walked into the news agency and they handed me this little box. There's been a tiny mistake, and they'd accidentally given me the reinforcement box, rather the small box with the 2 or 3 sprues in it. And I thought, oh, this starter set's a bit tiny, but we figured it out. And this thing is There's a hefty big box again. There's the rattle can for scale. So I'm thinking I might actually cut the front of that out and put it in a little frame, because that's quite nice artwork. These are the artwork from the original boxes, I'm pretty sure, that they've blown up and used. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Stay tuned. I'm sure I'll muck around a little bit with this English Civil War stuff. I'm sure I will have an army just like that without the horrendous glare on it. Once I've got it all painted in 12 months or whatever, maybe a bit sooner, I'm sure to do a little army review. Let me know if you're interested in some painting or some modeling stuff, or some exploration of the this figure scale, and let me know if you'd like me to do a thing on my 6mm ACW stuff in the background there. I've had that for a while and never really used it, but it looks cool. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Excuse the terrible phone quality, but have a good holidays, as I'm doing, and I'll see you next time.